This all going here so it's not so ghetto. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, first and foremost, I should probably wait for a few folks to come into the room. We'll do that. Let's see if we can't catch a few folks on the live. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, it shows that I'm live. It's 12:47 a.m. on the West Coast. I guess it's pretty late for the East Coasters right now, but let's see if we can't get a person. Oh, there's Alexander. What's going on, dude? Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I figured I'd get out here and do some dabs. I got this Elite Mothership matching my hoodie, of course, and we've got the gavel from JP and Toro. Feliz and Ano Nuevo. Feliz Ano Nuevo. Little Munchkin. Yo! Happy New Year to Scott. Ahoy, cake in a cup. Let's see those cake in a cup emojis for the cake man who's in the house. Cake in a cup. I hope you guys had a great New Year's today. I hope you guys are really inspired for 2025. It's, it's a milestone. We create these breaks in time and we create these certain amounts of allotments of time. And when enough minutes and enough hours and enough days and weeks and months and years go by, we celebrate these different things. So I'm happy to take a dab with you at 3 o'clock in the morning, Alexander. I have some absolutely spectacular 90 micron melt. It is so fucking nice. I can't even describe how nice it is. It is just bloody perfection. Hopefully I can get it to attach. Maybe if I cut myself out a little bit more, it'll, there, it's kind of trying to grab now. This is just my phone, so not the best camera, but this is some 90 micron. Can't even remember the name. This was Death Bubba 90 micron. This was Master, or what was MP? Master Plan. Another just absolutely spectacular full melt 6-star bubbles. I got 6 different full melt 6-star bubbles today. I want to shout out Hatch Hash. He is doing it up, man. This stuff you can just, as long as it hasn't been, oh yeah, it's still nice and motionally. So basically I can put a tiny bit of this in my hand, right? Just like this. Put that little bit in my hand right there. And now the heat from my hand right now, if I just kind of close the hand up a tiny little bit, you can kind of see how goopy this resin is. And if I just roll it around a little bit, it just picks all up off my hand perfectly. So nice. That full melt. Little. Now that is some little 6-star action right there. Get it on the dabber. Get it all off the finger there. There we go. We got the banger heating up. Let's check it out. We are hitting the Mothership ball rig today. Brand new Elite for me, brand new. It's not mine. It's my friend Hash. So shout out to Hatch for just lending me this little Elite. It's such a fucking nice little feeling of a pipe. So that's perfect timing. 570, we'll be hitting that right away. And for those of you that are going to dab with Bubble Man, I always say, may the full melt bless your bowl sooner than later. Well, now is the time that the blessing is happening. So please join us if you can. We're going to get that right in there. And then we'll show you guys what's going on in here. Happy New Year, dabs. Holy schnips. This cultivar that I hit is EH. And I can't remember the name of it. It had a cool name, but not necessarily a highly memorable name. So I'm going to use one of these heady swabs to clean this thing out because it's going to be, you can see for hash, that's pretty good. Very light, just on the tip of the amount of chaz. You can see how clean This is a little bit in the sides here, right, that you wouldn't normally see on some more processed oils, but get that out with the proper Q-tip. We can get in there and get that last little bit out. But wow, so nice. For those of you that aren't hitting full melt, we all deserve full melt. I can't say it enough. And I remember when I was truly obsessed with it, when it was in my life all the time. It comes and goes now. I can have it in my life somewhat often, but I do go through moments where I'm smoking rosin. Yes, Happy New Year to you as well, Chilbert UK. Kind of looking over to this side because I've got my phone set up, filming me, and then right behind it is my 31-inch screen. It's much easier for me to read the text on the computer than it is off my phone right now. But 38 of you in here celebrating New Year's with me, wherever you are in the world. I really hope you had a decent 2024. It was a bit of a bitch of a year for some people, but you know what? It's all behind us now. So let's move into the new year and just enjoy ourselves smoking the finest cannabis resins on the planet right there. That is what I'm talking about. Look at that absolute beautifulness. It is so nice. And like I said, here's the Death Bubba 90. These jars, when you first open them the first time, they're like pressure sensitive. There we go. There we go. Yeah, well, thanks for watching, church, man. Listen, church is it's like I said, our first episode this year. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I am gonna be announcing again that the Hash Church is going to change a tiny little bit this year, not too much. It still will remain free, so it won't be part of the membership. We're asking people if they want to support Hash Church, they're welcome to hook up with a membership, but the memberships are really kind of to just show your way of support. There is a $19.99 membership for the Cannabis Journal Club show that I'll be doing with Dr. David Allen, and that's to help raise some funds to help him as he's getting older and sort of get his message out there, as it was his idea. I told him I would happily do that with the channel. So that show is going to be really the main membership-only videos that you'll be seeing on here, although I'll probably throw the odd, live chat and Q&A up here and there as well. But no, church is always going to remain free. I am going to be incorporating some sponsors into church. I'll make it very classy, and we'll make sure it's not shameless and nauseating and that you feel like you're having shit, tried to be sold to you. It'll really just be about us mentioning sponsors in the sense of like, these guys are supporting Hash Church. They support the information that you listen to for free. They believe in it so much. They're going to kick down a little bit of sponsorship money, and all we have to do in return is really just mention that that's what they're going to do. Maybe some of the nutrient companies, they might give away some free nutrients. Maybe the LED companies like Grandmaster LED, there'll be giveaways, but they'll also just be the mentioning of their companies to let people know. And I think it's important, the companies that are willing to support something so roots and so connected to the education and the science of cannabis is I told people it's a very unique opportunity to align yourself with an incredible group of people that you would otherwise have a very hard time aligning yourself. And I'll be very strict, and I certainly won't be saying yes to every company that wants to do a sponsorship on Hash Church. But if you think there's some good ones out there, hit me up on the email, bcbubbleman@icloud.com, and I'll send out our tiny little deck. So in the meantime, what did everyone do? Yes, Chilbert UK. I should be at Spanibus. We will see. I'm hoping to get there for sure. Excuse me. Yeah. Happy New Year's from North Dakota. Well, Kyle Scott, I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, north of North Dakota. And sometimes when we wanted to go on vacation, we would go to North Dakota. We'd go to Fargo, North Dakota, or we'd go, what was that hotel back in the late 70s, early 80s? The Patch. That was the Patch. We'd also go down there and play hockey. We'd go on hockey tournaments down there. So aloha from Australia, Mook says. Also going Mary Jane July, going to be a big one. Yes, I would also like to be at Mary Jane. We'll see if I can make both of those. I'd also like to make Berlin in April, which I've already kind of promised my buddy Alex from ICBC, International Cannabis Business Conference. If you guys aren't familiar, check them out. They throw some pretty good events in Barcelona before Spanibus, as well as in Berlin now, a standalone event of their own, which has been pretty fucking awesome the last few years that I've gone. Happy New Year, Brandon Clark. Happy New Year, Phil 420. Happy New Year, Tigro. And Happy New Year, Kyle Scott. I'm probably not going to stick around for too much longer, but I will tell you what an absolute fucking beaut this is. Don't be scared. I don't drop pipes. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. But look at that. Isn't that just like a nice... I don't know how tall it is. It must be around... I don't know if that's 7 inches or 8 inches or 9 inches. 8 inches, maybe? It's hard to tell. It's close to a foot. I'd say a foot is probably like that. So maybe 8 or 9 inches. But nice little elite ball rig with a JP, I guess, Grail banger. Tenna. That's a tenna. So really nice little piece there. The seed of life. That red goes right into the ball so nicely, like the glass. Oh my goodness. It's pretty sweet. So I do have to clean it. I've definitely got some nice oil sitting around there. B-Man doesn't have tiny hands. I don't have tiny hands. No, I don't have tiny hands. I have pretty big hands. But this, you think it's a tenner? 10 inches? It could be. You might be right. I mean, I've got this one, which I think is like a 3. So 1, 2. I think it's more like 8. But we'll see. We'll see. I do have big hands. Happy New Year, Susie Sherlock. Cake in a cup. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. 38 people hanging out and checking us out. We're going to have another Hash Church here coming up soon. I also will announce that Hash Church, I'm thinking, because it's the 11th year of Hash Church, I want to call it the 11th season. I want to get away from this 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. I didn't do that every year. I ran Hash Church 1 for like 3 or 4 or 5 years before I even did 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. They were all broken up and they weren't full years. And so I think it's likely that I will come back this year with Hash Church Season 11, Episode 1. And I'm trying to make it a special one. If I can't come up with anything, I'll probably just invite like 40 or 50 people and be like, it's the first Hash Church of 2025. We'd love to see you, even if you can come in for 5 or 10 minutes and get like 40 or 50 panelists to come in over the course of a 4-hour show. Like his TV series on pirate sites, all named Season 1, Episode 01. Exactly, yep. Exactly. It'll be Season 11, Episode 1, Episode 2. And it'll be Season 11 for the entire 2025 year. So I'm really looking forward to staying extremely consistent with Hash Church. I'm going to be doing that show with Dr. David Allen. I also want to make it fairly consistent, at least once a week. And then I want to probably get back to doing some Puff Wednesdays with Johnny B. We're trying to figure it out. It's not an easy show to do. You really have to, it can't just be me and John. I don't think just sitting around. I think Puff Wednesday was always about us getting out, me getting John into these environments that he wasn't used to going into, hiking for 30 minutes to get to a cliff edge. Like I'd take him up on the gondolas. We did all these different things when he was still pretty hurt. Now he's much healthier. I think it'll be much easier for him, but we really got to come up with a good, 5 or 6 concepts and ideas so we can be consistent for 5 weeks, because the week goes so quick. But I want to be able to do something like we're going to Vancouver Island to see the ancient cedar forest on this Puff Wednesday. We're going to the Sunshine Coast to see Flav and smash all of his glass pipes, hitting dabs. For that episode, and have a Whistler episode, and have really episodes that sort of show the beauty of British Columbia. They show the beautiful mountains and the rushing rivers and the epic lakes and the Pacific Ocean and killer whales and dolphins and all of the amazing shit that is kind of always around you here. An episode where John and I we go forage mushrooms. That would be a great episode right there. Just speaking to you, I came up with that idea. I don't know how I missed it, but maybe I'll take John to Stanley Park and we'll go look for psychedelic mushrooms. And how fun will that be to see if we can't find some of those over there? And what a great episode that would be. It would destroy the spots. It would blow the spots right out. And usually people just take too much when they don't know enough spots and they find one. They get kind of like, oh, I better go there and take everything that's there. It happens sometimes. You're supposed to, in a sense. You don't want mushrooms to rot away. I always like to leave some. I never take all of them. But I also can find patches, so I'm less worried about that fear and scarcity vibe. So Yes, Brandon Clark. When the consistency hits, it is how it can become a ritual. And if we've got 300 or 400 now, and what I really do is ask you, please, if Hash Church is inspirational to you, we need you to get the word out. If you can write on your social media, I watch this show. It's I'm going to say what I think. It may not relate or resonate with what you think, but I would say, oh, it's this incredible show of this incredible group of characters, always bringing in new, fresh people that are highly intelligent and skilled scientists or doctors or PhDs in their specialty. There's patient stories of real life experiences that are heart wrenching and soul touching. There's some of the best breeders, hash makers, cannabis growers. We have Skunk Man Sam holding it down on the regular. We have a PhD chemist and Dr. Mark Scaldone, who's always there to share his awesome vibe with us, but also his intelligence in regards to chemistry and the breakdown of molecules and compounds. And so, having access to guys like Dr. David Allen, who was on last week, who was like, correct, knocked it out of the park. Everything he said was so awesome and amazing. Dr. Ethan Russo, Dr. Lester Grinspoon, Dr. Amanda Ryman, so many incredible doctors, also so many incredible hash makers. So many, probably 100 to 200 different hash makers have been showcased on Hash Church. And what I'd really love to know from you guys is, what makers would you like to see in 2025? We have a community here. Don't post it in this chat. You have to go in this video after it's been uploaded and post it in the description, because under the description where it says comments, that's where I'll see it and that's where it'll stay. I'll have a hard time ever finding it if you say it in our little live chat right now. But if you wait until after, mention the hash makers that you're most inspired to learn more about, to get to know, to see come on Hash Church, and we'll absolutely invite them on and use the traction of the show to offer exposure to the places that need it. People like Rick DeLisi with his father, Free DeLisi, 32 years in a state penitentiary. Thank God he got out, thanks to Steve Angelo and crew with the Last Prisoner Project. And the work that Rick did was huge, and all of us that supported him from day one when we heard about it. Having them come on and tell their story was also mind-bending and unbelievable. Courtney Pollack, the tie-dyer for the Grateful Dead. That episode of him talking about, that was the episode in honor of Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead. I think it was episode 3 of this 5.0. But he's talking about going to Egypt on the camels, walking through the desert on camels in Egypt with the Grateful Dead, and staying in the pyramid and resonating in the sarcophagus. And just those stories were absolutely not only entertaining, they were mind-blowing. And because they were coming from his heart and soul, and he wasn't flexing or trying to be cool or trying to come across as something that he wasn't, it was so authentic. And I think that's what we sometimes are, that's what I'm looking for on Hash Church. I'm looking to create this honest dialogue that is honest, but at the same time, whatever you say, be careful. There's a group of highly trained, schooled, educated, intuitive. There's minds in the room that if they smell bullshit, they're going to call you on it every single time. And operating in that space really sharpens your focus and your mind's ability to articulate the message that you're trying to get out. It's one of the things I do appreciate about Hash Church. And like I said, I'm looking to do 52 episodes this year, one every week. So hit that up and let me know who you want as a hash maker to come on, because that would be really cool. Man, it's late for some of you guys. It's 1 a.m. here in British Columbia. RIP to my favorite, Michelle R. picked up a copy of The History of Cannabis in Canada when I visited the motherland cannabis culture. Are you talking about Michelle Rainey? Because Michelle Rainey was a dear friend of mine. I did a lot of work with her when she took over Hemp BC from Mark Emery, the Marijuana Party store. Bubble Bags was a big way that they paid a lot of bills and made some cash there. Back in the day, if you remember, when you walked across in the front window, the whole window scene was a mannequin making bubble hash with my bags. So they were always huge supporters, and Michelle was always just so lovely and amazing. I remember when they were going to do a vapor bar. I had been doing a vapor bar for about a year and a half to 2 years, maybe three, and they said, "Hey, we're going to do a vapor bar." And she called me up and she said, "Listen, I want to run something by you. We're going to do a vapor bar." Vapor Lounge. And I said, "That's awesome." And she said, "What we want to call it is Vancouver's original Vapor Lounge. And we wanted to ask you what you thought of that." And I said, "Well, I mean, is it?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "Well, is it?" And she said, is it what?" I said, "Well, is it Vancouver's original Vapor Lounge?" And she was like, "Well, no. That's why I wanted to talk to you about it." I said, "Well, you have your answer, Michelle. You're not the type of person to name something that's not the truth. You'll name it the truth, which is the Vancouver Vapor Lounge, which is what the name became." And Michelle was always awesome like that. Even when she wasn't quite seeing it, she spoke to me for the very reason that she wanted to make sure it was okay. And of course, I was like, "Well, listen, no, it's not okay because it's not the truth. And you're like an amazing, beautiful person who's authentic and honest. You don't need to." And in an instant, she's like, "You're right. Of course, we're going to call it the Vancouver Vapor Lounge." So yeah, pretty cool. You should redo some hash making for beginner vids as shorts that you push out to non-subscribers. I like that, Cake in a Cup. I'm glad I saw that. Thank you. These ideas, like I said, if you don't mind writing them in the comment section, like otherwise I might forget them, but if they're in the comment section of this video, I'll have a hard time forgetting them. These are some great ideas, absolutely for certain. Shout out to Hillary Black. No doubt, Kyle. Honestly, shout out to Hillary Black. I think Hillary must have been 16 or 17 years old when I first met her. She worked at Mark Emery's Hemp BC with my other friend Shell and the woman Dana, who was their manager. And then there was Jeremy, who was dating Shell at the time. What an awesome dude this guy was. I miss him, actually. I hope if you're seeing this dude and you're still on Hornby Island, reach out to me, bro. Like, I haven't seen you in way too long. But yeah, I met her at Hemp BC. She was always so inviting and cordial. We were the prairie guys, kind of the weirdo hemp activists that would roll up with like a half pound of haze buds and maybe a big ball of finger hash. Um, we were the Manitoba hemp guys. And so some of most of them that worked there, they were too busy really just being super cool BC, hemp BC people. But Hillary was humble and she always respected us and showed us respect. And I befriended her very early on, or she befriended me. And we've been dear friends. We don't talk a ton these days, but I would definitely consider her one of my very close friends. I'd always be there for her, that's for certain. She's good like that, and she was always there for us. So I know she's living on Salt Spring Island and having a pretty nice time. If you push the non-subscribers, you will get more traction. Non-interaction from subscribers pushes you down the algo. Non-interaction from subscribers. That's right, Cake in a Cup. So how do we get you guys, the subscribers, to be more interactive in the comment section? Because that's what I need. I need that from you guys. I haven't asked for much, but I can keep doing these videos and I can inspire and get better at these videos and do more of them. 147,000 subs is hard to push to. There's no doubt about that. But I built it slow. It's not like an obscene amount of people that's like, I don't have like a gazillion 12-year-old bots or whatever, 12-year-old kids and bots and stuff. It's mostly a core group of cannabis people. My traction, I used to get 500,000 views a month, which is like many times more what I get these days. So I'm pretty confident that I can get it back there if I make the content, make it enjoyable. But it's true, you got to ask people to like I know how annoying it is, but listen, if 57 people who are in this room right now just hit the like button, that pushes me up the algo. If people that want to let me know about ideas or hash makers that they want on Hash Church and they put it in the comment section rather than just in this chat, that also is very helpful. Yeah, I used to go to the Global Marijuana March. Not every time, but I do it in Vancouver quite a few times, that's for sure. Yeah, well, that's part of the history, Kyle. Listen, it goes back a lot further than that. A lot of people, the same way the young people are in their generation are like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Because they didn't experience it. What you experienced was just one generation of it, or 50 years or 60 or 40, but it goes back hundreds, probably more than 1,000 years where people have been prohibiting cannabis. Like in the 16th century, in the squares in Cairo, they would bring the Sufis who were considered hashish eaters, and they would like stick their fingers down their throats. And if they threw up like green and black and like hashish and cannabis, they would wrench their teeth out with pliers. And this was like hundreds of years ago they were doing this. Now, the hash eaters, even those who had their teeth wrenched out, still would not stop eating hashish and cannabis. So it goes to show you that even 400 or 500 years ago, prohibition, although had a detrimental effect on people, it certainly didn't stop them from enjoying cannabis. Anyway, I think that's good for me. I really appreciate everyone coming out. I'm going to hit you up more, Cake in a Cup. You seem to have some good ideas. Maybe you can help me with this stuff. Help me make some snippets and some shorts and some... I'm getting old, man. I need help, dude. Anyway, I really wish you guys all a very, very happy New Year. I'm always stoked for New Year's. I think it's a cool kind of ritual. We need some types of rituals to break up time. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. You don't have to be like young to know this. I just am more disconnected. I know what you're saying. I just don't really feel like I have I was doing some shorts for a while. They weren't really picking up traction. I was doing it but I need someone that I can get to help me with these things. Either explain them to me so I can find someone who wants to do them, or help me do them. That's what I need in the near future here. So drop Hash Church gems as stories. I find my phone lets me do shorts with Hash Church videos, but it's only 60 seconds. And I find a lot of the gems in Hash Church can be like 4 or 5. Like if I could just do, between a minute and 5 minutes, it would make it a lot easier. But the app doesn't let me do it the same way. I have to do it on the computer and go into the big editor, and it's a little bit more complex. I like that Cake in a Cup. I'm down with the ideas. And there it is. I knew that it would be worth giving you your own emoji before you even became a member. But thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate the support. And have a great year, everybody. Let's talk soon. Let's talk often. Let's definitely gather every Sunday. And if you can, comment, like, and even more importantly, if you have your own social media, post. If you're on Instagram, tag me, announce that we're doing Hash Church 9 a.m. on the YouTube channel. Like, tag me, we'll collaborate on it. I can help you gain traction with your followers. And same with whether you're in the YouTube community, whether you're in Facebook, sharing it is definitely getting out. And I suspect what'll happen with the consistency is we'll hit a few that go viral. And once we do that, I think the way it'll happen is through shorts. I think I need to pull gems out of Hash Church. And what I really need for that is someone who's paying attention to the show, watching when gems are getting dropped, and then writing down the timestamp of where we're at in the video, who said what and what they said within, you don't have to write verbatim, but to have that kind of list would make the work so much easier. I mean, even if I had that, I could go back in a hurry and make shorts and clips of the video. It's the timestamps, but I'm answering everyone in chat. I'm moderating the room. People are talking to me in the Zoom in private, like 3 or 4 or 5 at any given time. Other people are hitting me up on other messenger services while I'm running Hash Church almost all the fucking time. And so I just don't have the ability as often as I would like to try and catch those timestamps where it's like, oh, dude, Mark Chaldone dropped the bomb right here. 1 hour and 21 minutes to 1 hour and 27 minutes. Boom, I can go and get that. Awesome. I am super stoned right now, dude. I was puffing all night long. I chuffed like probably 1.5 grams to 2 grams of full melt bubble tonight. I can feel it in my throat, in fact. Thank God I got my Bubble Man tea right here, actually. Ginger heavenly right there. But yeah, no, I'm super cooked, dude. I only took 1 big dab since I've been sitting here, but I must have taken like 30 of them at this party, so it was good. Kick streaming, eh? I'm not sure about Kick. I haven't really used Kick streaming platform, but I'll check it out, man. Anything you think of as an idea. Cuban Grown going after him was gold. Who did he go after? I missed that. Matt Rise Troll was definitely a Hash Church gem for better or worse. Matt Rise Troll. When Matt Rise came into Hash Church, that was definitely... Listen, the thing that'll attract people the most, which is a bummer and terrible because you just want it to be organic and authentic, but it's the tension. It's like, oh, did you see so-and-so came on Hash Church and then they started like a fight with the other person? And it's like, if you get that kind of tension, people will watch that episode probably more than any other episode. But yes, true Hash Church aficionados will be able to brainstorm and figure all the great clips out. Listen, I'm going to announce that on Hash Church, but I'm also glad to have had this conversation with you guys right now. That's going to be super helpful to me in the new year, and I know it'll also be super helpful to some people that have been watching for so long and maybe in some form or another want to be more of a part of it. I think it's a neat way to do it. It doesn't take a lot of your time up, and if you have the skill, and you're willing to put it out there, that would be amazing. And certainly, if it works out and the traction of the channel builds and I get monetized more, I can also pay for that work as well. You know, down the line, once it's proven itself, I'm happy to kick down some coin for that because that's just helpful. And I guess I'm off.
Well, no, I was going to say.
You coming to say Happy New Year?
Yeah.
My wife's hiding in the corner here.
Oh,
This is the chat right here. My favorite is visiting Brampton, Ontario in a blizzard. Oh, that's the story where I landed in Jamaica with Claude. And the end, I think Richie Spice and some other people, and it was like a blizzard. And I had to do Hash Church, and I was at the airport like 40 minutes away from Brantford, and we had an hour to leave the airport and get there. I got there with like 7 minutes to spare. Wagwan, Bubble Man. Robert Hay and Ali Khans and Mr. Benjamin and all of you, I appreciate you guys. I was only going to do 15 minutes, then I was only going to do 20, then I was going to do 25, and then I was going to do 31. Happy New Year, Robert.
Like to talk.
Yeah, that's my friend Robert Carroll. He's an awesome dude. He's in Spain with his cows and his farm. Hansi Pharmacy Bro says, Happy New Year, Mrs. B. Let's shout out Mrs. B. She was the first person to make bubble bags. When bubble bags came into real creation, it came from her, the creator of all of our children, and also the bubble bags. So how about that? What do you say to that? I want to see what you guys have to say. Thanks for letting Mr. Bubble Marcus spend so much time on Hash Church. Bubble Woman. Ganja is not here to change the mind. Kyle's on it. That's some prophecy right there. Bubble Woman. Welcome, Mrs. B. She is the creator. It's true. Yep, it's true. I just sold them. Happy New Year, B man. Mrs. B. Happy wife, happy life. Cheers, Mrs. B. Yeah. We just got 56 people, but it's like 3:30 in the morning on the East Coast right now. And I suspect a lot of these people are on the East Coast. Go to bed. J-Mac from Pot TV says Happy New Year. Johnny B's fantastic. What are you talking about? People will start clipping it. Okay, Cake in a Cup. You got to put these in the comment section. I'm literally going to read them when I stop this video because you've given too many gems as it is. Share at least half of them again in the comment section when I end this video. And I am going to end this video because it's getting late. But Happy New Year to everyone. 4:30 a.m. at Byron Robinson. 2:20 Dixon. I will not put them down for everyone in a comment. All right, well, no worries. I appreciate it. I'm going to go to bed. I'll see if I can go back and go through the comments to read all the good things that you said. Peace out, everybody. Have a good New Year's.